What is going on, everybody? Bringing you another video update on our cuttings here and where we are at with them. It's been, not quite 3 weeks since our last update, and you can see we have a lot of green here on the 28th of February, 2023. So I just wanted to give you guys a little rundown, kind of what we've been learning so far, touch base on a couple things, some of our earlier cuttings, some of the things that we've learned. So what I'm going to start with first is our red osier dogwoods here. So we're going to start with these. These are our oldest dogwoods. So these dogwoods were cut on January 14th. So we're probably roughly 45 days in, and I wanted to show you guys some of these. So we're actually seeing here is some of these are drying out. You see here, this one on the left, right over here, that's all dry up there on top, but some of them do look good. I'm gonna show you here, I'll pull one out. So this one here said we're roughly 45 days. This drier one, let's pull it out and take a look here. So this is what I found the other day too. So this one never rooted. See, it's starting to dry out. It did bud. It just never rooted. So 45-day cuttings. So out of this box here, or this, not box, this pot here, we had maybe 10 cuttings in it, and you can see that some of them are drying out and obviously dying. So I would venture to guess this one here on the end will die here soon too. This one here, I'm sure that'll croak. But what I did want to show you, so this one here has some green leaf on it. If you look way down in there, you can see that there's some roots. So for some reason, this one rooted and this one is taking. Now, is it a matter because we cut them too early? We don't know. So what we went out and did is I cut another, roughly 200 cuttings of dogwood 10 days ago. So on the 18th of February, we got some in water. We have not seen anything growing as far as roots, but I do have some in water here as well. And we're not really seeing any action as far as roots starting there. It does look like there's some little white dimples there, but that might not mean that there's roots starting. We're just basically putting some in water and then some in pots and see what happens. So touching base on our box elders. So last video, we had some movement, I believe, from the box elders, but you can see now we are starting to get some growth on them. But let's take out this box elder here. Very similar to, looks like a little root might be starting up there on the end. Maybe. But no roots growing on this thing. I'll stick it back in there, but I'm not very hopeful for these either. It said they are budding, but just because they are budding does not mean that they are going to make it. I mean, prime example is these dogwoods, and this is what I've seen in the past too, is those dogwoods. I've cut them in the spring of the year, and I have stuck them out in the marsh, and I believe that they're alive. They bud, they look good, but then they always die, and I start notice that they're dying mid to late summer. I am not sure why. I'm trying to figure that out. We will see, but we're just trying to cut things at different times and figure out, especially with dogwood. A lot of guys like dogwood. Deer love dogwood. Great browse, great cover. The canary grass grows up through it nice, so it'd be really nice to be able to figure that out as to why those aren't working. But we're gonna keep plugging away and sharing it with you guys as we cruise along. All right, so moving on, let's take a look here. Weeping willows. So Justin and I had a lot of weeping willows here. We actually threw a ton of them out because they were dying. What we're finding is, so here's some weeping willow branches. The skinnier, these real small ones that were kind of on the tips of the branches, a lot of them were drying out and dying. It seemed like they have to be, for good success, they need to be at least a pencil size to bud. And even at that, we are not seeing 100% success rate. For instance, here's one right here. You know, that's a little bit bigger than a pencil. We have not seen any growth on that one. And you can see it's got that little darker color to it. Will it make it? I don't know. But I would say for the ones that we have been cutting, I would say that we're probably 90%. If they're in that pencil size, they are budding. So these weeping willows were cut 27 days ago. So they're coming along here. All right, let's move to the coyote willows. Pretty excited about these coyotes. They've really started to green up here. These coyote willows were cut 32 days ago. I'm starting to see some good growth. You know, even the ones back there, we cut some, those cuttings are probably at least 3 feet. And you can see some of them way back there that the growth on those is easily 6 to 7 inches coming off. And a lot of these short ones, I would say the average growth coming off of these is 3 to 4 inches probably. They're starting to look really good too. Like I said, they really started to green up the past week or so, and they're starting to put on that growth. All right, let's cruise over to the hybrid popples. These things have really snapped. So that's this whole row here on the left. And these hybrid popples look amazing. Really impressed with how these things have taken off. These hybrid popples were cut 34 days ago. And for instance here, you look at this, that's easily 7 inches of growth. These things are really starting to leaf out, get big leaves on them. I mean, look at this. Look at the size of these leaves compared to my hand. You know, that's a big, those are big leaves. I'd say average growth on these is probably right around that 5 to 6 inch range. Again, we're learning that pencil size seems to be the best as far as how rapidly they grow, and they put that size on. Again, 34 days on the hybrid popples over here too. Some tall cuttings. These things are probably 2.5, 3 feet, and they are taking off as well. They're doing just as good as the short ones. And it's, see, some of them, they took a little bit longer, I would say, to bud out. But once they did, it seems like they really, really take off. Again, the last week has been great for these. All right, moving on to the hybrid willows. And these are right here coming up the middle. These look fantastic as well. Very green, leaves look great. Same story with these. That pencil size seems to be the go-to size. You can see we have some smaller ones in here. And these are really tiny, those ones. They are starting to bud. It just seems like they're taking a lot longer time. We do know that the hybrid willows, the coyote willows, and the hybrid popples, and the weeping willows are rooting vigorously. Everything is rooting vigorously with the exception of the red osier dogwood. Even the ones that were cut, you know, that long time ago, that 45 days ago. So that's kind of where we're at. Again, the hybrid willows here, they have some major growth, great green leaf. See, there's one in here. That's probably close to 10 inches, and that thing has grown just in the last week from 2 inches to 9 to 10 inches. So these things are really starting to pop here at the end of February. Again, tomorrow is March 1st. We're cruising right along. We're excited for how this is going. We're excited to see where we're at in a month. But as you guys can see, we have roughly, we took out some weeping willows and added some dogwoods, but I would say we're right around that 1,200 to 1,300 cuttings here. And if you guys are buying cuttings or buying dogwood or hybrid willows, hybrid popples, it's a lot of money. So that's all for now.